Small businesses create more jobs than anybody else. They are the lifeblood of America. If we could get this tax cut for small business people, they go invest in people, in technology to make their businesses work better and serve their customer better. Congress needs to act on this. Give them a tax cut break now, and you will see great things happen.
Yes, yes, and yes again. Hall of Famer Fran Tarkenton there in a new ad urging Congress to pass tax cuts and do it now. A lot of big names lending their voices to the effort, which is led by Newt Gingrich, who just happens to be with us now. He's the author of this new book. It is called Vengeance. All right, Newt, welcome to the programme.
Good to be with you.
Stress the word tax cuts, not tax reform. Keep it simple.
I'm for as much tax reform as they can pass, as long as they get tax cuts. But I don't want them to let tax reform as an idea block them from getting tax cuts.
It's really a question of what can be done.
That's right.
And you don't think that we can do the mammoth task of tax reform?
They got 52 votes in the Senate. They have to get at least 50 of them.
Right.
So I want to know what tax cuts, particularly for small business, which is the most effective job creation you can get, what tax cuts can they get 50 votes for in the Senate? Everything else is, we played this dance for 9 months on health care. It doesn't matter what your press conference is, doesn't matter what your press release is. You either get 50 votes and you pass the House, or you don't get a law.
But real fast, Newt, you know the state of the Republican Party in the United States Senate.
Right.
Do you think you can get 50 Republican votes for any kind of tax proposal?
Look, I used to have a very simple model. Tell me what you have to have, tell me what you can't have. Then I'll tell you what I have to have, I'll tell you what I can't have. Somewhere in that box, there's a bill. And Mitch McConnell knows this. McConnell's a very, very good negotiator. But it would be helpful if everybody on the Republican side, including the president, could focus on being positive and could focus on finding a way to get to yes. What doesn't work, frankly, under our constitutional system is trying to bludgeon these guys. Because one of the reasons the Founding Fathers designed the Senate, only 1/3 is up every 2 years, is so you can't threaten 2/3 of them. They don't care.
So the president's made a mistake when he has the Twitter war with Bob Corker?
My mother taught me many years ago that you collect a lot more flies with honey than with vinegar, and I don't know why she wanted to collect flies, but that was what she said.
I take your point, Newt. I think we got the message. Hold on a second. Gary Cohn. Now, he's the point man on tax cuts in the White House. He says middle-class tax cuts, they are the priority. He told us all of this on this show Friday, and he really laid it out. Roll tape.
As you know, we turned in a broad brush outline to the tax writers, both in the House and the Senate, and we've given them a lot of latitude to work with our broad outline on delivering middle-income tax cuts. And that's really important to us, and to deliver a business tax cut that makes America competitive. Those are two areas where we are really concerned right now, and we're spending an enormous amount of time.
If there's more money in middle-class pockets and not that much more money in upper-income pockets, does that still stimulate the economy?
In the short run, sure.
That much?
Well, in the short run, and this is why parts of the tax bill, I think, will be retroactive. Speaker Paul Ryan told me last week that I think they've changed the expensing rules as of September 27th, so they're locked in. People can start making investment decisions. In the short run, people have a lot more money at Christmas, have a lot more money early next year. You get some serious stimulus. In the long run, you want to have a break for businesses and a break particularly for small businesses. But I carry around. This is the Paul Ryan postcard.
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one.
And I carry this because I think people need to understand you get a secondary tax cut in the money you don't have to pay to a preparer,
right?
Which turns out to be 5 billion hours a year of time, and I think well over $100 billion in actual payments.
Okay, real fast. If you get the middle-class tax cut as envisioned by Gary Cohn, do we get 4% growth next year?
You certainly get over 3% growth. If you get that plus a 20% or less corporate rate plus a break for small business, you break 4% next year, in my judgment.
I've got two books sitting here on the set. First is yours. It's called Vengeance, and it's a novel.
It's very straightforward and comes right out of the news media today. Terrorist sells 2 super tankers full of oil to the North Koreans to get enough nuclear material for dirty bombs, and you have a joint Israeli, Saudi, American effort to stop them. But it literally is like today. I mean,
Don't go right to the end.
I'm going to the last page. I want to see. Okay, one more.
Now,
Callista's got.
This is a much more fascinating story. As you know, Callista's been nominated to be the ambassador to the Vatican, and therefore she cannot go on an author's tour. And so I'm going to be flagrant just to make my wife really happy.
Why not? That's why you're on the show. Oh, Gingrich.
Anyway, this is. If you want tension, you stay up all night. You wonder what's going to happen to the world.
Right.
You get Vengeance. If you want a happy story for 48-year-olds about the first ladies, you get Remember the Ladies. This is much happier than Vengeance.
You're not careful. I'm going to read that and not your novel. Gingrich, as we say, you're all right. Thanks very much for joining us. So much obliged to you.